So there was this post that went extremely viral for the past week where women ranked the least attractive hobbies for men. And at the very top of the list, the most unattractive hobby was playing video games. I have no idea if these stats are real. No one could find the actual source of where it came from.
It's trust me, bro.
But Liz Wheeler posted it saying this is 100% true. Men playing video games is peak unattractive, beyond red flag, like deal breaker zone. It's weird that so many dudes don't get this.
It's funny because I met Liz. She's a nice lady. And when I saw this, I was like, man, like I can think of a lot of people you wouldn't like then.
Well, the rest of the list is also interesting. Second, collecting figurines, magic tricks, online trolling, gambling, building model trains, taxidermy, comic book collecting, and bird watching.
So guys, there is some solace to be taken here. You can go out and you can lose your family's rent money or mortgage payment at the craps table as long as you're not at home playing video games.
Is gambling a hobby?
Yes.
Oh yeah, for a lot of
I
people.
mean, you could call it that, but I don't know if you should make it part of your identity. I think magic tricks are attractive, and I think online trolling is the most attractive trait. And most attractive hobby for any man is online trolling.
What if you play online poker? Is that gambling or is that video games?
I don't know.
Hey, listen, I don't know how to answer these
getting so
questions. This is tough. But you did mention it. So this poll actually did come from a TikToker who was making jokes. Apparently, this is a community note on X.
Yes. Right.
It says the TikToker was making a joke about them being bird watchers, and the poll was like,
Well, there was a similar one posted by an account on Instagram called Utah Stats, and it said they polled like a few hundred women in Utah to respond to rate how much more romantically interested you would be in an individual upon finding out they participate in the following hobbies. Video games was still at the top as the, I would be much less attracted to this person if they were interested in video games.
Okay, let's take the phrasing of that really
Yoga and sewing and fishing were also on the list.
Okay, what's the phrasing on that? What's the question again one more time?
Rate how much more romantically interested you would be in an individual upon finding out they participate or engage in the following hobbies.
Okay, I'm just going to go on a limb here. I don't think that playing video games for the vast majority of women, when you hear a guy play video games, you're like, all right, let me take off my pants, right? I don't think that happens, right?
Sure.
Right, but
for the majority.
But if you were to be like, if a guy was like, hey, I lift weights, right? And it wasn't like, some super roided out buff guy, right? To a woman that says, I take care of my body, right? I take care of my body. I'm gonna treat myself all right. So I would say that probably lifting weights is higher on the attractive list than video games, right? But with that said, it's a stupid stat, right? Like how many men,
the joke is always men, when they get into working out, that they do it because they think they're going to get women out of it. But then they end up loving it because it's good for them.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the idea.
The joke is always like what I imagine going to the gym would be like, and it's him like he's bench pressing and women are all over him. Instead, it's him bench pressing and all the dudes are walking. You're like, looking big there, King.
It's a little gay.
Yeah.
Gets a little gay when you get to the extreme end.
No, but here's the thing.
You shouldn't be doing things for like female validation.
No, you should be doing it.
That's unattractive to women, ironically.
Working out, just like skating for me, is more about the physical activity about it now, right? Skating for me was something I did semi for work when I was younger, but love it and do it now because I need the exercise and I love to go out, and the endorphins that come with it and all that stuff is great. And I've never participated in anything that I do wondering what it's going to mean for women.
I want to hear from both of you. What are the least attractive hobbies for women versus most attractive?
Do women have hobbies?
That's been the question this whole week.
I guess
that's what people have been asking.
I guess yoga would be a hobby, just like for men working out or the gym.
Least attractive though?
I'm just trying to think.
What are the least attractive hobbies for women?
That's not an unattractive hobby. I'm just saying, like, I'm trying to think of like what actual hobbies for women are.
Yeah, food influencer.
That's the least attractive.
Yeah, probably. He's going with their noodles.
Yeah.
Astrology.
Is that a hobby? I guess it's a hobby.
It's a lifestyle. It's a way of life.
It's a religion. It's a religion for some.
There's a lot of complexity in that. I think it really comes down to the personality of the girl, right? that they're kind of subdued and I don't know, there's a lot of complexity to that. It's one of those, it when you see it, but yeah, I think that with women in particular, most men will say, this is why guys, I've never used a dating app before, but this is why guys are constantly just doing this. They're just constantly swiping right on every single woman, right? Men are the beggars. Women are the choosers, right? Beggars can't be choosers in this
gatekeepers
situation.
to sex.
Yes, exactly,
Yes.
exactly. So, but if woman, or maybe pole dancing, probably would say no to that.
It's for fitness.
Right.
Why are you wearing the stripper heels then?
Yeah.
Shut up, misogynist prick.
Shopping as well. Yeah, shopping.
I don't think of shopping as a hobby, though. You're literally just consuming things.
I mean, that's what you're doing when you go to a movie. You're consuming a product. People would consider going to the movies a hobby.
Maybe if you like discussing movies.
You like discuss shopping.
I don't think that women discuss shopping
Do they?
as much
I
as
have
they
no idea.
shop. They shop more than
Tell
they
me more
discuss
about
shopping.
Yeah.
I mean, this is what confused me because, in a certain sense, I'm not saying women don't have hobbies. Don't get me wrong. But men are more likely to be super into a hobby because it's how they bond together, is that they together do a third thing at the same time.
So I was explaining
But women,
to
for women, when they bond, it's literally just talking.
Yeah.
Like, men go fishing and don't say a word, and that's how they bond.
What I was explaining
Women just,
to you.
it doesn't matter where we are, we're just going to talk.
So for us, it was 25 years of skating, which means you go from spot to spot all over the city. You go skate rails, you go skate ledges, and it's 40 to 50% doing your tricks. Then, you're done with yours. Somebody else is still skating, and it's the group it's the joke is you just loiter. You loiter
Right.
at that public location, skate with your friends, and that's where you converse. But we're not going to go sit around in someone's apartment and go do that. We've got a shared activity that we go out and do together.
Yeah, women, I don't think, would relate to that nearly as much.
Which brings it back to playing games with your boys.
Yeah.
Right? You're doing something, it's a hobby. That's why it's a hobby, because it's fun, number one, and then you get to hang out with your boys, and as we saw in the video earlier, you get to talk all sorts of shit.
We got a 20 from Pat the Plumber. Who has time for hobbies when there's a femicide going on in the Congo?
What are we supposed to do?
How dare you have a hobby? What was the next one?
From, I can't read
Garfield's Bizarre Adventure. Hey, Craig, I'm currently working on a story that stars a middle-aged woman named Katie did the Dog Whisperer. She is a lonely woman who has a special relationship with her dog and a magical talking jar of peanut butter. Any advice?
Scrap the story, start over, and
Come up with something new.
I'll
Get
say,
Caesar Milan to help you with it.
I guess the question, is it a kid's book, an adult's theme, or is he just going to go straight to porno? Because it sounds like it's going to go straight to porno there, Garfield's Bizarre Adventure. So,
I think that the cringy part of this whole discussion is that men got really defensive about it, and they were like, actually, it makes me a more strategic thinker, and it makes me it gives me all of these different skills, and it's you can just play video games for fun, and you don't need to defend yourself that hard.
But the problem is that this leans into the neurotic side of women that have to overanalyze every aspect of their life, and in this case, every aspect of their online life, which is a bunch of men who they don't know or interact with.
My best theory for why video games are an unattractive hobby, which no other woman would probably say, is that usually it's a simulation of danger rather than actual proximity to danger.
Well,
and that's why
post-industrial revolution,
I know,
we're not
we
really facing
live
a lot
in
of
a
those
society-
dangers in the real world.
We live in a society, okay? I get it. But it's a simulation of this goal-oriented behavior of adventure and violence and saving the girl. And those are themes in video games, and that's how they attract a predominantly male customer base. So that, to me, is the primary reason why it's unattractive.
I don't understand how this can be possible when supposedly 50% of gamers are women.
I agree. This is a very wonderful thing.
Well, if you think about it, women love Candy Crush because it's the women are gathering and the men are hunting.
Yeah, you're out here playing Animal Crossing, and I'm supposed to not judge you?
Yes,
Is that what you're saying?
and they love Sims for the same reason.
Yeah.
It's controlling everyone's social interactions.
That's a really good observation, the idea of control. Because I was thinking about, so my producer Blabs, she loves Roller Coaster Tycoon, right? And it's the same idea. I'm going to control this environment. And she's kind of got like a dark side. She likes the roller coasters to like not have an end. So they'll do a loop, come off, then they just fly off into the ether and die. But you're right, man. There's a lot of control associated.
I knew a girl who was really into Roller Coaster Tycoon.
Daily
streak.
We can talk about how this list has been debunked and whatever it was. The idea that a woman would consider gambling less bad than playing video games just shows you how bad women are at making decisions when it comes to picking mates.
Crazy take. Ramsey Paul on X said, a girl that thinks she can tell me not to play video games is in the deal breaker zone. It is bizarre that women think they can run men's lives. If a man did this to a woman, it would be called controlling and abusive.
Well, I mean,
they're not trying to tell you you're not allowed to play video games. They're literally just saying they won't have sex with you.
Okay, but you could say if gaming is your hobby, right? That's fine. You could say that if it controls your life, whether it's gaming, whether it's lifting weights, whether it's whatever, card games, whatever the most attractive hobby in the world is to women, if it controls your life and it becomes too much of your life, it's no longer a hobby, it's an obsession, right? Mm-hmm. So like the idea of I'm not going to have sex with somebody because they play video games is fairly closed-minded, right? Mm-hmm. You could say the same, well, I'm not going to, but it just comes down to how much does that hobby become an obsession? And that's the biggest key to all this discussion, I think.
Just like with doom scrolling on any social media, most people just aren't good at self-regulation.
Look, a lot of this is a response to the internet being what it is, which is that normally back in the day, if this conversation was to happen, it would be amongst a bunch of girls together in a group, and there would be no men involved in them talking about how this wasn't attractive. But now, because of the internet, people end up in a bunch of spaces where they would not normally be privy to go, and so you end up debating this endlessly, when the best thing you can do is just continue your hobbies and understand that you should have no interest in this person anyways, because they're clearly not the type of person that you want to be dating anyways.
You know what the best thing to do in that situation is if you're playing video games and you're getting some strife from a girl or whatever, and she's like, I don't understand why you play video games. You invite them to play video games, and you say, here's why I like playing video games. And you give them a chance to experience it with you, and then all of a sudden it doesn't become a wedge in your relationship. It becomes something that could potentially create a bridge in your relationship.
But on the contrary, Brett says he would never want to share his hobby of skating with a dating interest ever.
The worst thing that I can ever think of is like you're having an argument with your significant other, and then you're like, well, I'm just gonna go out and skate and clear my head. I'm coming with you. That's fucking awful. Like that's fucking awful.
I hear that.
Like it's that's also different because it's just been a part of my life for so long that introducing somebody to that this late would be weird.
Let's end this on a positive note. One girl said that she actually bonds with her boyfriend over video games.
There you go.
She said, lately my boyfriend has been playing a trucking simulator, and I was watching it the other day and asked him to drive the truck into a lake, and he did, and then proceeded to spend the next half hour fishing it out with a crane, and that's what love is about.
That's right. There you go.
Beautiful.
Bring people together. Bring people together.
Thanks for watching. Listen to full episodes of Pop Culture Crisis on Spotify.
Keep up with us on social media and make sure you subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss the show. Bye, guys.